Hi guys, Ian here, and this is the CCA Polaris. It is a single dynamic driver IEM that comes with tuning switches, and the retail price for this is an amazing $14 and is available from the unaffiliated link down in the description below. I've been testing this for quite some time now, and I'm here to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions about this Polaris. So let's begin first with the accessories and specifications. This is the retail box that it comes in. At the back here, there are some specifications. Let me read that out to you. Frequency range is 20 to 40,000 hertz. Impedance is 30 ohms or 50 ohms depending on the position of the switch. And the sensitivity is 107, and on the side here they do show you a graph of the IEM itself. Now inside the box there are 3 pairs of ear tips, small, medium and large. These are the star ear tips from KZ, and also the stock cable, 2-core cable from KZ as well. Very typical stock cable. This one is terminated with an elbowed 3.5 headphone jack. It comes with a Y split and also a pretty stiff ear hook. So I've been using my own third-party cable, and it works fine with this IEM. Alright, so let's now talk about the IEM itself. The design and build quality is it's alright. I would say it's 14 bucks. Alright, the faceplate is I think is electroplated chrome finish. Looks quite elegant, but when you look at the inner shell, it looks quite cheap. Right, so it's plasticky, and also you can see that the glue is kind of smeared on the inside. You can also see the driver inside, which is a good thing. And on the top here you do get some switches, as I mentioned. So if the switch is off, then the impedance is 30 ohms, and if the switch is on, then the impedance is 50 ohms. And I would say overall the design and build quality of this is pretty typical of CCA and KZs, and they work well. I mean, they are not top of the line kind of finishing, but they work well. Okay, now let's talk about the sound department first. Let's talk about drivability for this, and these are pretty easy to drive when the switch is off. So at 30 ohms is pretty easy to drive, but once you flick the switch on, then it becomes 50 ohms and it boosts everything up. So I would say you need to crank up the volume a little bit, which opens up the IEM, which is a good thing. It's a good and bad thing, I would say. But most of the DACs in the market nowadays can drive this IEM. You can pair it with any balanced DACs if you want, because these sounds quite balanced. So I used it with most of my gear, my iPad, my iPhone, my Android phone, and my tablets, my laptop, and they all work well with this, and it pairs well as well. Okay, so now let's talk about the tone and timbre for this, and this is, I would say, again, a well-balanced tuning, and it's got a little bit of warmth to it as well. The sub bass is a little bit on the lighter side, lacking that rumble. The mid bass is quite strong, but sometimes a bit boomy, and the mids, they sound natural, with a little bit of richness in the vocals and acoustic instruments. And the treble is pretty polite. It's not bright, it's not harsh, though it may leave percussions to lack a bit of that snap. Now let's talk about the technical performance. The soundstage is actually quite narrow. Imaging is alright, but the sound separation is not stellar, and especially for orchestras or expensive tracks, it lacks a little bit of that separation. Imaging is a bit center focused and is adequate for vocals or lead instruments, but when it comes to a big band or orchestra, then imaging is not very precise. The detail retrieval on this is actually surprisingly good for $14 IEM. It picks up micro details in the mid-range, and the textures are pretty good, but it's limited to the stock tuning. And also for the resolution, I mean, for 14 bucks is fairly okay, right? It's good clarity. There's no notable distortion, and upper mids and trebles are pretty controlled, and there's no distortion in that area as well. Alright, so let's talk about the sound signature, and I'll post my graph somewhere up here. And as you can see, the graph is actually quite harmonious, and it's got a little bit of bass boost in the mid bass area, and the treble is a very polite treble. Now in terms of the sub bass, is quite harmonious, good extension. It's a little bit light, it's got good air. It's not definitely not suitable for bass heads, but it also lacks a little bit of that weight and the warmth as well, but it's just nice in terms of the sub bass. I do like the sub bass. I don't want the sub bass to be too weighty anyway. As for the mid bass, it's quite punchy, it's a little bit forward, and it's warm as well. Good note weight, but it may sound a little bit muddy at times with instruments like, you know, the percussions and the bass guitars. For me, it's a little bit too forward, but it works for certain genres of music, if I may say. Now as for the mids, it's quite natural and it's a little bit forward as well. Good strong vocal presence, especially for male vocals, and good instrument warmth as well. So I would say it's actually pretty forward for male vocals and instruments and percussions. The clarity is there as well. So overall, a pretty nicely positioned mids, I might say. As for the peanut gain and the transition to the treble, there is a small hump, and this hump helps with the vocals in terms of clarities and instruments as well. So it's not a harsh or intense type of transition, and the peanut gain is actually very acceptable in my books. Now as for the treble, it's smooth, it's very tame, it's very shy as well. Very minimal sibilance. It's not harsh and bright at the same time. So percussions may sound a little bit muted, I would say, but overall the treble is actually a very tolerable treble if you compare to their past tuning. All right, and overall I would say treble is rolls off pretty naturally. I would say it's a little bit cut off short, but I would say it's pretty natural overall. Alright, so that's the overall sound signature of this CCA Polaris. I would say it's actually very suitable for most genre of music, and if you're a beginner, right, this is actually a very good IEM to go for. You can play around with the tuning switches if you want. But it does not make a big difference in terms of tuning, but that's how you can train your ears anyway. So you can train your ears to listen out for a little bit more bass or a little bit less bass, but overall a very affordable IEM to start off with. And tuning is pretty decent. The technical performance of it is not top notch, but it's pretty decent for the price that it's asking for. Let's compare it with the KZ Caster. Now the Caster offers a little bit more energetic bass. The bass is a little bit more forward. The soundstage is also a little bit wider, and the Polaris will sound a little bit leaner, lighter, and more neutral, and not so V-shaped as the KZ Caster. And also comparing with the ZS and Pro X, the Polaris sounds a little bit more natural and less metallic in the mid-range, and overall performance is also was a little bit better over the ZS and Pro X. Okay, so that's a very quick comparison with those two other IEMs. So let's conclude. This is very good value. I mean, especially for beginners. For 14 bucks, you get balanced tuning, decent technical performance, and you get tuning switches as well for you to play around with without going to the EQ. And but overall, I would say it's sensible for newcomers to go play with this. For seasoned audiophiles, I don't think this is for you. Yeah, I think I mean, if you want to add it to your collection, why not, but it's not for seasoned audiophiles, and this is ideal for maybe students or commuters or readers, anyone who wants a little bit more sound quality than those earphones that are off the shelf. Right, so that's my overall thoughts and opinions about this CCA Polaris. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. My name is Ian. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.